In the previous video, we discussed configuring Jira Service Desk. Let us now take a look at Jira Service Desk reports. In this video, we are going to take a look at request types with approval. We will take a look at some reports like workload report, SLA goals report. We have one report called created versus resolved. We'll also take a look at some reports based on SLAs, and we'll also understand how we can create a new report. When you raise a new request from the portal, you also have the option to configure the approvals. So right now in your Jira Service Desk project, you already have one request type which will enable you to ask for the approvals from your manager or from any person in your organization. So if you, let us say, raise a new request for a specific service request, which is of type new mobile device, if I click on it, you will have the option to, of course, fill in your request form. Let us say I need a new iPhone, and you have to specify the manager that will be approving or the person who will be approving your request. So this person can be any person in your organization. And for this particular example, if I just type in my own name and I want to show you how the approval will work in Jira Service Desk, I'll just use my own name, and if I want, I can also fill in my description, or I can just leave it blank to raise a new request very quickly. And when you raise a new request and when there is an approval required, the person who is supposed to approve will get a notification first, and second, they will also be able to take a look at all the requests that they need to approve by going to the request option on top and going to the approval section. But when they actually open that particular ticket, they will see this very clear button, your approval, on the top section, and if they want, they can simply click on the approve or decline to give or to reject the approval. So let us say if I approve this particular ticket, a new comment is now added here, and you can also see here that this request will be now sent to the agent and it will be processed. So if I go back to my Jira Service Desk project, I have the option on the left hand side in the sidebar to take a look at various reports. If I click on it, I have some reports already configured for me. So let us take a look at some of them one by one. So the first report which I want to talk about today is the report under the workload section. If you have a team of agents, let us say you have 5 agents in the service desk project, and you want to know how much work they are doing. So this report will give you a breakup of the number of issues that are in progress per agent. Then we have the report called as SLA goals. You have the option here to take a look at various SLAs that you have configured and what exactly is your progress in terms of percentage. So you have the information here about the specific SLA. Let us say for time to first response, right now your progress is 64%. For time to resolution, it is 55%. So you can actually take a look at these reports and it will help you in understanding that in the past 7 days, what exactly is your progress when you are talking about your service level agreements. Then you have some reports which are already configured for you if you create a new project with a template. For example, there is a report called created versus resolved. This report will actually give you a very nice indication of how many tickets are being raised and how many tickets are being resolved in the past 7 days, or you can also change it to past 14 days, for example, and the whole report will give you this nice indication on the timeline. So, for example, right now we can see here that in the past 14 days, there were 42 issues or tickets created and only 19 were resolved. Then you have the report which could be based on one of the specific SLA that you have. So, for example, right now you have an SLA met versus SLA breached report. So in the past 7 days or in the past 14 days, for one of the SLA that you might have in the project, have you breached those SLAs or not? So right now you can take a look here that in the past 14 days, we are doing quite all right. We have met the 19 SLAs, but if you also want to take a look at a breakup for individual day, so you can take a look here that on 11th of March, you were able to met 5 or 4 SLAs, but if you have any breaching, you will be able to find out on this particular table. And finally, you also have the option to create your own new report. So if you click on the new report button here, you have the option to first give your report a name. Let us say we have to create a new report for all the incidents getting created and resolved in the past, let us say 7 days. So I'll probably name this report as incident created versus resolved. So you need to first add a new series, and in this particular series you need to select from the options here. So you have already some predefined series, let us say created or resolved. So let us say we have to first work on the created series, and then you need to filter that you want to have this series only for incidents. So you can type in your incident here under the type. So let us say for your incident you want to have this report. So we will first add one series for created, and then we will add one more series for resolved. And for resolved, I'll probably use a green color. I'll give my series a label, and I'll make sure that the series will only include the incidents, not any other request type. So once you add these two series in the report, you will be able to take a look here that you already have this depiction of the information in the past few days or 7 days, and simply click on the button create to add a new report. So when you add a new report, this report is actually added for you in the custom section. If you take a look here, incident created versus resolved, and if you want, you can also move it to a specific position on top. And you also have the option to change the timeline based on 7 days past or maybe past 14 days. So this report is quite handy and useful. In this section, we discussed an overview of help desk. We spent time understanding how we can create a Jira service desk project. We also spent a lot of time understanding the various configurations that you have in your Jira service desk, like portal, request type, SLA, automation rules, and notifications. And finally, we had a look at the Jira service desk reports. In the next section, we'll take a look at searching and reporting in Jira.